don't you want to pronounce yourself how you cure this problem? Because it's not only appearing in KISII, it's the whole republic, isn't it? And then on top of that, I don't know that you observed that this was the period of transition. I don't know, Chair, you see my point.
Yes.
What can we do to make sure that the process continues even when the politics is going on and transition is taking place? I have seen that in so many other counties. What would you want us to do? Because our job is to legislate and oversight.
Chair. Yes, Chair, you know, I think the Legal Council needs to read for us the relevant section when you do late submissions. Secondly, Chair, Governor, I think your accountants are very lazy. If you check the responses, they are standard. It starts with Onyonka. And they don't give a further reason. There is no flesh in those statements. So, I mean, this is being lazy. I mean, you're a serious governor and deputy party leader. I mean,
Chair, just before the legal goes, you know, Governor, we had the auditor here, and we had 3 hours with the Auditor General because we are having a lot of documents to look at and a lot of county entities to audit, to the extent that we really actually want to catch up with time and be able to do as many as possible so that we can be able to get to the current books of the current governors. Now, the problem we are having is this issue of late submission. You know, when Senator Kisang says your officers have said I concur, he's basically going to the law, to the court and saying I prove I am guilty. And Governor, I think that probably you're going to be the first county that is going to be punished with this, with your officers, because this idea that what the law calls accounting officers constantly putting their governors in a very bad light of not doing their work must stop in counties. It must. And I think that the accounting officer, before we read the punishment, I wanted to read for us PFM section 149. What is the title of that section of the law? Can you give the officer? First of all, read the title, because I'm getting irritated and tired of officers who don't do their work, and then because governors cannot run the entire county, you have got what the PFM Act clearly calls accounting officers, and they must do their job. What does that title say?
Through your chair, the title of the heading of section 149 of the PFM is responsibilities of accounting officers designated for county government entities.
Responsibilities. If an accounting officer does not know their responsibility under that PFM Act, they're going to be liable in this committee. What does that section K say?
Under that subsection 2, paragraph K, it reads that not later than 3 months after the end of each financial year, the relevant accounting officer is supposed to prepare annual financial statements for that financial year and submit them to the Auditor General for audit with a copy to the county treasury.
What that says that you do not need to wait for the auditor, even before violating section 47(1) of the Public Audits Act. You already violated that PFM. Because the month that is required by the section 47(1) of the Public Audits Act is actually pulled from that particular section of your responsibility. Now, listen to what you're putting the governor on, which I think that the governor, after this, you're going to give you a charge, and then it is the responsibility of the officer to go and deal with it. Read for me section 62 of the Public Audits Act.
Through you, Chair, section 62 of the Public Audit Act is on the offenses by other persons, and it reads as follows. A person, that is section 62, subsection 1, a person shall not, without without reasonable cause or lawful excuse, obstruct or hinder, exhort, assault or threaten a member of staff of the Office of the Auditor General or professional acting under this Act. Then the relevant ones are paragraph B and C. Without justification, fail to provide information required under this Act. C. Without justification, fail to provide information within reasonable time that is required under this Act. Then there is the issue of submit false or misleading information and misrepresent to or knowingly mislead a member of staff of the Office of the Auditor General or professional acting under this Act, or interfere with or exert undue influence on any staff of the Office of the Auditor General or on any person authorized by the Auditor General to perform the functions under the Act. And then the fine is under subsection 2, where it reads that a person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 5 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to both. Thank you, Chair.
That's the law. When you said you concur, this committee sits under Article 125 of the Constitution. It's a high court. So I don't think there's anything the chair can do. You have concurred that you violated those sections and the punishment is there. It's 5 million or 3 years jail term or both. I think if the chair is very lenient, he might give you 5 million, because I don't think you want to go for 3 years in jail. Or he can actually give you both if he really wants to send a message. It's that simple. The accounting officers are giving governors headache in the county. You've got a section for yourself in the PFM Act. This is not about the executive seat of the governor. It's not in question here. It is directly on you, 149 of the PFM Act. So, Chair, I don't know how today you woke up, whether you took tea, whether you were nice, I don't know. But I think that is a law of what they have concurred about. If you choose, you can punish and then make it known to the country that there are some accounting officers who don't do their job that need that punishment through the executive, who is the governor.
Just for your information, the two accounting officers, that is Nahashon Ongeri, who was the municipal manager, and George Ongware, who was the municipality accountant. Governor, are they still in employment, these people? Or they left?
Chair, I can confirm that one Nahason Ngeri is on disciplinary.
Is on disciplinary?
Yes. Where's George? What? Is this? What does he do? There's an accountant there. Ongware is there.
Yeah, this Ongware, he should have been here. This Ongware has an ISPAC number 8093, and according to the status, his membership is active, but he is not in good standing, meaning that his training points are below the required threshold.
I can come with him next time. Be required.
Yeah.
I'll bring him.
Yes. So I think what has been said is that ordinarily the law provides, the Public Audit Act, that these people should be punished on this offense. I will ask Senator Onyonka to say something, and then I give my direction on this.
Chair, my point is that actually I'm agreeing with Eddie. That's why I told and mentioned to the OAG that what is the way out of this? What are the recommendations you make? And Chair, you could interface that with your ruling. What are the recommendations you make so that the same thing does not be repeated again? That's for me where I am, because I always keep saying the system is broken. This is, Chair, one way on how the system is deliberately broken to make sure that these things happen. Thank you.
What Senator is saying in your report, don't leave it vague. You need to be very specific to say such and such officer should be punished under the law, so that people will start taking submission seriously. When you leave it to us, and you are the one who is supposed to actually implement the Public Audit Act. So, Auditor, please, Mark, you can come in to support what he's going to say.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. As Senator said, I think the issue of less submission has been a very big problem in this country. But even in terms of looking in terms of the financial year when it ends, the financial year ends 30th June. Yeah, actually the law just provide a ground for that grace period of 3 months. But ideally, the financial statement must be ready by July. Yeah, there is nothing stops the financial statements to be cleared by even July and August. In terms of even some of the listed companies, which we normally also audit, which are also being guided for them to have an AGM, they do their submission by 30th June, and we do the audits. Even by 30th September, the audit has already been done. So in terms of the main national members of the counties, the best thing is just to enforce for them to do the compliance in terms of preparing these financial statements in advance and submitting them to be audited, because the year ends actually by 30th June. And if in terms of proactiveness, we normally do what they normally do what we call quarterly reportings. So if you do quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, by the time you do quarter 4, you already have even financial statement in place, and that ought to be the best practice. Thank you.
So the two members, please put yourself on record.